President Trump answering questions at the White House about the war with Iran and specifically the status of Tehran's enriched uranium, which the United States wants back.
Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran.
President Trump also saying Iran has agreed to almost everything, including giving up their nuclear ambitions. Former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, joins me now. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. So there is clear optimism on the part of the Trump administration. What are your thoughts on where things stand right now?
Well, good morning. Good to be with you. Israel awoke to a different reality this morning, and it's not one that Israelis are necessarily comfortable with. There was an imposed ceasefire by the president on Prime Minister Netanyahu in southern Lebanon, where southern Lebanon is the scene of intense fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. Hezbollah is basically a proxy of Iran and has been shelling northern communities. About 6,000 rockets fired at the Galilee over the last 6 weeks, and all that population has been under fire. You'd think that population would want a ceasefire, but no, they don't want a ceasefire. They'd like to see Hezbollah beaten finally, because every couple of years they have to face that same type of barrages over and over and over again. They want it finished. But the president has said that he's also willing to invite the prime minister of Israel and the president of Lebanon, President Aoun, to Washington this week for peace talks. Now, that is certainly a welcomed event should it happen this week. Israelis will certainly support that. The big question is, even if Israel and Lebanon make peace, will Lebanon be able to impose a ceasefire on Hezbollah? Will it be able to dismantle Hezbollah's arms, to disarm Hezbollah? The Lebanese army is not strong enough to take on Hezbollah, so it's going to be a big question that Israelis are going to be asking the president and our own leaders as these talks go forward.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. There is a difference between the Lebanese government and Hezbollah, which is a military and political faction inside of Lebanon and has all the money and a lot of the power. So can you answer that question that you just posed as to if Lebanon can enforce this ceasefire? They're entering negotiations with Israel, but Hezbollah is not so far willing to also do that.
Oh, no. The only real way to disarm Hezbollah is by Iran. And among the many goals set out by the Trump administration in the negotiations in Pakistan with the Iranis is not just eliminating Iran's nuclear program, getting that 900 pounds of nuclear dust, as the president called it, removed from the country, but also ceasing Iran's support for terror. Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror in the world, the Hamas, the Houthi rebels, and of course Hezbollah. And if Iran cuts off the oxygen from Hezbollah will simply dry up. And that is what we hope. I'm certain that's what the Lebanese hope. And it's a great American and Middle Eastern interest as well. So we hope that this will be achieved in these continuation of the talks in Islamabad.